Well, it's back-to-back action here in the Australian Ultimate Championships. One game ends, the next game starts. Simon Talbot, thank you for joining me. I'm Daniel Clinton.
Good to be here, Dan, and we've joined the game in progress already. Still the first point. Colony Pillage started on offense, and fantastic layout block from Dylan Taylor has given Juggernaut the disc. On the goal line, Moroney pops it up.
He looks like he's kept that in. That's a break to begin.
First blow to the Juggernaut. 1-0.
My good word, this is going to be a great game, I think, Simon.
If I can use a cliche, I think it'd be a bit of a barnstormer. This is for top spot in Pool B. And I think Pool A is at their final placing sorted. It looks like it'll be I-Beam and Melbourne Carnage will be the two recipients of these guys in quarterfinals. So now we're just sorting out the order.
Well, this is going to be interesting up till this point. Pillage hasn't had the smoothest run. They've dropped some key games.
Yeah, they had a great game against Wildcats this morning in pretty trying conditions. They managed to grind it out. Went the distance, went into past the 100-metre mark, but came away with a win 15-11. Juggernaut have had a mildly easier run, finishing most of their games within time cap, and I think minutes played becomes a factor at tournaments like this, Daniel, with 100-metre games, longer than most teams are used to. So it tends to be the biggest squads, the ones with the best conditioning, run it out late in the game. I think that was the difference in the Colony's last game against Wildcats, is just having that.
Because Wellington very short in their roster.
Yep. Isherwood with the pull. Sends it out rolling. It's a strong right to left breeze here. Or wind. Breeze is a bit generous. Wickrama with a high release backhand to Blakely.
Colony on that far sideline. Oh, and it's gone straight through the hands of Caliviotis, who stayed on his feet rather than bid.
Plenty of it was just a simple vert stack there, and Colony got plenty of options on the open underside there. Wiseman to start with the disc on the goal line.
Sporting the bright green gloves. That's Cowan. Looks. And travels hugely. And that will stay as a turn.
Yep. Tom Della with a throw there, and you probably heard Isherwood's voice just calling for it, backing himself to win the aerial contest over Blakely, but Blakely just had better position there. Just had to put the hand straight up. Now it'll be Colony disc about 60 from goal. Oh, David Andrews turns Wiseman inside out. Gets it at centre field. Now to Dan Ryle. Fan. Easy one out to Blakely. Blakely, bullet of a forehand to Wickrama.
Blakely's in everything at the moment. He's finding a lot of the disc as he normally does. And that inside-out break. It's a little bit better from Colony after that shaky start in the block.
Yeah, much crisper offense then. Just really looking to attack the break side whenever they could. I think Juggernaut had the open side a bit more covered on that second possession. So now the Juggernaut O-line gets their first look at the disc, as well as Colony's D-line.
You're a part of the Heads of State club. Obviously very familiar with this team, scrimmage, train with them, all the rest of it. What can you tell us about the O-line? Do they run an O-line? Do they mix it up?
Yeah, they run an O-line. It's fast disc movement, I believe, is what they've been running at trainings usually. I'm not sure if they'll go a bit more conservative today, but just expect lots of yards in the boys' leagues, like big runners out there like Tim Wise, Sam Jacobs, Lachlan Wise, and Simon Smiley Andrews. And they'll look for an early shot, but they'll only take it if they're sure of it. they will want it, and Pillage will be well aware of that, having to defend the downwind end zone.
Well, that is a
Connell
nothing
with the
pull.
Mm.
It has not gone anywhere. It's nosedived into the turf and then taken an off break out the sideline.
Yeah, so Juggernaut running a horror offense with the Wise brothers pairing off in the middle. Joe Hoppy with the disc.
And out of the horizontal they go. Nice movement into the middle there. Wise.
It's Jacobs.
Jacobs rather.
Trong.
And there's a turn as Tim Wise can't find it. Jacobs looks so similar to Lachlan Wise when he moves with the disc, Simon.
Yeah. I think he learned how to run off Lachlan. Connie will look to shoot here and early to get that break back. And Wise puts the sky high looking for Lachlan. That's got a drift. And I think that's cleared the goals.
Yeah, that's a field goal.
Yep. I think that's 1 goal each, Dan, so far.
Of course, we are in rugby league country.
Yeah.
Rather than AFL country.
So Colony will restart with the disc. 64 from goal.
And they're going to work out of a vertical.
Isolating Connell out on his own. Britton Jones. Smiley Andrews to Wise.
We're starting to see some of this quick disc movement now. They're deep in the red zone. Jacobs with the score.
Nice little 2-footer goal at the front of the end zone there. Unlike a lot of teams, Juggernaut tend to sort of really go one at a time in the end zone. They don't try and provide multiple options. They just like to go one out and just back themselves to be able to get open. And Hanlon's content to move. They move it nice and early too. Look to go off a 3 or 4 stall count rather than waiting to 5 or 6.
Well, we've spoken a bit about Juggernaut. What do you know of this Colony Pillage team? It's the non-WAC team, I believe.
Yeah, I was able to watch them this morning. The defensive pressure is unreal. They tend to like a match defense more so than zone, even in these windy conditions. And they really just look to cover under options and just bait any deep options, just knowing that they'll be there to run them down. And then offensively, nice and patient. They come up against a lot of zone against Wildcats this morning, and they were content just to bounce it all day. A lot of the voices, a lot of their offensive points, they were content just to run. There are a lot of long points that are lasting 4 or 5 minutes some possessions. So the Colony offensive team out now, looking to go downwind to respond. This wind has really picked up, and it's really going to start to hamper throws some of the players, perhaps not all players, just maybe some of the receivers who aren't as tasked with the throwing. Nice roller pull, Wickramer with the disc. Blakely covered off in that first option. Big throw put up, would have been a high stall count, looking for Blakely. Plenty of bodies under the disc. And Maroney just swats it out of bounds. Easy as you like.
Maroney. He's on the stat sheet now, and Wickramer, that's not a very good throw.
High stall count though, just had to do something with it. Don't want to end up with disc skill in your hands on a 10 count. Speaking of, the high stall count there for Wiseman. Gets it up to Castellano. Inside out flick, puts everything on it, just gets it to Taylor. Inboard to Isherwood. Looks at that big backhand. It's going to be pretty dangerous with the number of receivers they've got. Wiseman now throws up a monster flick. Maroney and Blakely under it. Oh! Maroney did everything right. Ran Blakely under it. Luckily chose not to go aerial. Marotti stayed down, but
He's dropped it.
forgot to do step 3, and that's end up with the disc in your hands in the end zone.
He has dropped that cold. He had it, and then he didn't. It's gone.
But that throw from Wiseman, upwind too, just nice toe flick. Wiseman, play with the Madison Radicals in AUDL, spending the season here with Heads of State prior to representing them at World Club Championships later this year. They look to always reset it back to the middle as soon as they can after those lateral passes. Blakely, out to Wikrama. Andrews with the short option, right on the sideline now. Puts the flick up, sitting high, mighty. Fan gets it ahead of Liu. That makes it 2-all.
I believe that's a break. No, that's
No,
an
that
O point.
was O.
Okay. So things close and tight early. No team really getting much of an advantage at the moment, anyway.
I think this will be an arm wrestle for the first. We're already about 14 minutes in here. I think once we sort of get to about 35, 40 minutes, I think we'll start to see the scales tip one way. Both teams here got sideline full of compatriots. Colony have their World Ultimate Club Championships team here supporting them on the sideline, and Juggernaut have their non-WUC team, Melbourne Carnage, here supporting them as well. Plus also Melbourne Phoenix, who just came off an absolute almost 2-hour epic in the last round, narrowly going down to Powerhouse.
Carnage have been having a great tournament thus far. They've met expectations for some, exceeded expectations for others. Depends on who you've talked to.
Depends if you talk to their coach, Dan.
Yeah, that's right. Or if you talk to a hater like me. Britton Jones is going to pick it up. Goes to Lachlan Wise.
Nice little lefty to Jacobs. Works back to centre field. Oh, sells him with that fake. Sev Hardy having a bite there.
Just preventing that easy underthrow and forcing Trong to go sideways. We see Wise gesturing under. Finds Smiley Andrews. Trong gets the reset. He goes around Smiley Andrews again. They're in the red zone. The Juggernaut, this is an O point for them. Important that they convert this one. Smiley Andrews rather, is going to call.
Bit of contact on the throw there, I think.
Yeah, just on the disc.
Rather than play through it, I think he's opted just to take the stoppage because I think he didn't have a lot of options available. Allows him to take a breath. In trouble now. Oh, no. Gets it backwards to Wise. Wise up the line looking for Jacobs. Meter from home.
Ball thrown to space, Jacobs. And now another throw into space, backhands all the way. Smiley Andrews loves it.
The work rate from Smiley Andrews on that point. He was getting to both sides of the field, unders.
Yeah, the Englishman. Great legs and good work rate. Results in a score and a conversion.
And the rest of the O-line there, if they see someone who's up and about, really providing their energy, they're content just to let back, keep out of their way, and just conserve their energy. So 3-all.
Time for more defense by the Juggernaut. Led by the physically imposing Mark Isherwood. Some of his victims have been walking around the sidelines this weekend. Mark Evans. No, was it Mark Evans that he busted? Gav Moore. I know that he was involved in the Gav Moore incident.
Yep. Very physical and imposing player, Isherwood.
He's got cleaner over the years,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
lovely.
Puts that pull up. Nice roller pull. That'll get that extra couple of yards. Give the markers time to run down. And they get there for the first pass. That's good defense.
A bit of
Oscar
a travel.
Francis sends it deep, and that's Cowan getting up. Getting a clean hand to it.
On quickly.
Otis, Della.
Quickly go Juggernaut with speed and intent. They're most of the way down the field and they're pretty close. Isherwood gets the reset. He looks to pivot through the mark. Caliviotis, so good with disc in hand. And they've broken them.
Caliviotis and Castriano. Just those break backhands from Isherwood. A lot of players try to get physical on the mark to try and prevent them, but it's not the way to do it.
Isherwood just went straight through him. Like some of that delicious curry that the Ulti TV production crew was hooking into last night. It's good stuff.
So first, that's the second break of the game. For the Juggernaut D.
And now they've got a little bit of breathing room.
Yep. So now they've got a, well, almost you consider a free shot going downwind, because the defensive job's made a lot easier having the so-called eighth player with you. The stiff 35 k/h breeze we've got running from right to left. Should be right for at least one time slot.
Well, Yueng is actually out there for Colony.
Yep, good change.
An excellent change.
Yep. Yeah, he'll provide just that steadiness on offense. Having so much coaching experience as well, he's just his ability just to control what's happening out there and also still be able to make an impact on the play. A big roller pull, plenty of pace on it.
Oh, nice catch.
Stopped easily by Connell. No, nice little give go. To gain some yards for the defense sets. Ewing with the disc at centre field. Blakely to Black.
It's pretty well covered there by Declan Frey on the mark.
I think it was a pick call there just as Blakely was clearing out. And so Black has a look at Oscar Francis for the dump here. And I think still count coming in on 5. Give Black maybe one look upfield before the reset. And he's taking the time and he sends it up. Sends it deep straight to the hands of Ewan Weimer. Lockhart to restart. Should move with the big flick pull with wind assist. Looking for Tom Della. Straight into his lap. It's another break for Juggernaut.
And we see some quintessential Juggernaut celebrations, a massive kick spite, and a huge pitch invasion as they all rush the field. The Hoss boys love it. They're up and about at the moment. Another break.
They're a very high energy team. Conversely, Pillage, not necessarily a high energy, but in their own way, they'll still be keeping steady. I wouldn't say there'd be no panic yet. Not by any stretch.
But a key moment in the game still.
Yep.
An upwind break, a downwind break.
Yep.
It's breathing room. It's a good spot to be. You know, you can just play your game now, and if you manage to take half, you're going to be in a really nice spot into the second half of the game.
Yeah, especially since they'll be coming out on offense with basically a free shot and extra lead. So Ewing, yeah, keeping the same line on the field. Connell, Ewing, Blakely, McGrammer, Andrews, Black, and Fan out there. So pretty much 7 key throwers.
Yeah, it was something I noticed as well that
Yeah.
the throwing depth is extreme on this line. Less the receiving core. And more the fathead handlers getting out there.
I wouldn't mind seeing them sort of rotate out of those positions too. So if not be afraid to push upfield and become a cutter should the situation call for it, rather than just hang back behind the disc all the time. Coming out in the horror, setting up quite deep too. Blake with the first under, looks deep and black. Nice easy score. Yeah, in that front corner. Way to respond.
Well, they make it look easy, don't they?
Yep.
Supreme disc skills.
Yep. A nice clean offense, and I think in games like this, particularly teams shooting downwind, if you give them the brick, on the pull, that's puts you at just such a disadvantage as a defensive team.
Because they can see so much of the field and they've got width.
Yeah, it's the best place to have the disc in terms of throwing, because you've got equal space on both sides, you've got heaps of room out the back, and also you've got time to set, take a breath. You're not sort of on that back foot, you know, with the stall count coming down on you straight away. You got time to walk to the disc, have a look at your options, and generally, I reckon Ewing would have picked out Blakely well before that play started, and thought, yep, this is what's going to happen. Blake was able to look up, see Black streaking deep for the goal in the corner. Timeout was called here. Missed who called that one. But yeah, we're just about 25 minutes deep in the game for the first timeout.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finney, he's done it.
Teams often singing football songs, like the victory songs.
Yep.
To protect the integrity of the huddle.
Yeah, that was started back at 2010 World Clubs, back when other teams used to do songs and chants and make noise in timeouts, and it just was a naturally evolving thing. It's like, well, what's the song that we all know? And as avid followers of Australian rules, most of the club, everyone knew the songs, and so
it made sense.
Yeah,
and I like the warm up as well over there. The old throw the disc, get a bump, throw the disc, get a bump.
Get a touch on. Yeah.
Very common Australian rules warm up. Not so much in Ultimate where it's non-contact, but hey. Whatever works, whatever G's you up and gets you ready for the game.
And that's it. Different things work for different teams. There's no sort of cover or rule to fire everyone up. So Colony's defensive line out there now. A few players are seeing for the first time today. Jimmy Todd Hill out there. Oh no, sorry. He's on the other team. My mistake.
The wind picks up just as the pool goes up. In spite of that, it's a pretty good pull. And Trung lets it go and roll.
Yep. He's content to take his time. Big backhand break for Wiseman. That stack is very deep. Not many undercuts coming for him. And
oh, Nathan Stacey.
With that run through.
That's just not good enough from Jacobs. He needs to do better than that, the young man. He needs to attack that disc with some venom.
Yep, just slowed up. So Connell to pick up the disc. Wiseman on the mark. Loves that big forehand, Connell. Just like that, throws back end. Continue to swing to Hardy. Hardy looking deep. He
it's a call in the stack.
He's left without a dump at the moment, so we're going to have someone come out soon. Probably Sean Reid, best position to do that. Reid with the disc now. To McDonald.
Oh, Connell drops it.
It's a short forehand. Short forehands over that range, very difficult to catch in this wind. Trong. Oh, wobbly one up the line to Britton Jones. Inboard to Wiseman. Oh, catches that Just with his fingernails.
Who nearly dropped it.
Just
the gloves.
Yeah,
it was
the gloves. Gloves are the difference. Oh, throws it in traffic. And
then it was the gloves that threw it away.
I think about 3 people got a hand to that one.
Nathan Stacey travelling a little bit. Trying to find the reset. Wiseman goes the wrong way. And Connell gets the reset. Finally, there's a pick in the stack. The spacing from Colony at the moment is very, very tight. Not much difference between the different receivers in their vertical.
Yeah, trying to give space to the cutters, but I mean, that's the trade-off, is that everyone's a bit close together. And again, another pick. Lots of traffic through there, so players prefer to call the pick rather than cause a collision. Allows play to stop and everyone to regroup.
Oh, that's straight up in the air. And it's Wise that comes down with the block. And maybe
Wise at the end zone.
Maybe this is the beginning of a bit of a run here and a momentum shift for the Juggernaut. Smiley Andrews is going to make a call. He's going to call foul, and it's going to be uncontested.
Yep. Hardy coming across to meet him, just a bit too close there.
Smiley Andrews doesn't look convincing until he just throws it in the end zone for the score. Juggernaut.
As far as bailout throws go, Dan, that's not a bad option. Mikey Chong was dancing around on the mark there, couldn't get free. No secondary option coming on the open side, and he just...
Smiley Andrews said, well, stuff you, I'm going in the end zone.
Yep, I'm throwing a break, and fortunately Wise saw that coming and was left open. I think what the Pillage defenders were doing there, I think they're anticipating a big forehand shot over the top, so they were shading that open side, that far side of the field, and just didn't think about the break.
So back on offense, go Colony. And defense. Defense is definitely where both teams want to be in this game, but you're only going to get so many opportunities to break the other side. This is pressures on Colony here to hold serve, stay in this game, stay within a couple of points.
Baker just having a last-minute word there to Wise, and I bet he'll be saying, land the pull-in with maybe an adjective or two thrown in for good measure.
An expletive?
Yep, he's done just that. Wikrama with the disc. Isolating Blakely out versus Wise. Oh, put a bit too high for him. There was just a bit too much under that disc. The win to catch Wise. Low to Isherwood at centre field. Castriano, he's got to run it down. Big bid, look at that.
Nice catch. The guns.
Round to Isherwood. Wise on his own in centre field. Swings it out to Frey. Frey runs above. Physical marking in this game. I think it's fine though, because both teams are comfortable with the level of it. Wise right on the doorstep. Big break to Cliviotis. Cliviotis, looks for the swing, but goes back inboard. Frey with a great contested catch there. Wants that forehand. He's got to Weimer. Unfortunate there for Daniel Ryle. Had everything covered, but just lost his footing, went to ground. And it left Weimer just wide open for Frey to hit with a forehand.
Bad news bears, Simon.
Oh,
Colony down a whole bunch of breaks in this game. 6-3, 7-3 rather now,
yep.
with another upwind break. That's the second upwind break of the game. And now an opportunity to again break downwind for half.
Yep.
We've seen some first half performances out of a lot of teams, but this is right up there. And Colony Pillage, they need to come up with some answers and fast. They do not want to get down too much against a quality opposition like the Juggernaut.
No, they've the momentum's definitely against them, but an upwind, a nice patient upwind 0 point can halt that momentum. It can be done in 1 point. So I wouldn't expect them to try and shoot hard in this. Granted, if the opportunity is there, they'll do it. I think they'll come out. I'll probably try and isolate Blakely again. I think that's been working well for them. It's just that just got to hit that first connection and then just have the continuation ready to go.
I've just noticed something. I can't help but feel like Jimmy Mickle has been led astray by the Colony Plunder boys. They are drinking Victoria Bitter out of a can. It is a horrible decision.
And welcome to Australian culture.
Oh, I wonder if they got it like a slab. You know, a slab? Like the 40 cans or whatever it is?
Yeah, they got the blocks, the 30-can blocks. Huge roller pull. Trapped well, going to ground. Yeah, Blakely in the middle of there. Quick rammer, we're on the sideline.
There's not much movement. This is the problem with the horizontal. Wickremmer has to stick it. Maroney's a little bit under the disc.
Oh, God.
And with an exceedingly questionable decision to punch and parry rather than collect it. And Calaviotis goes long. Isherwood has misread it!
Oh, what a bid.
He misread it. He stopped. He came in when he should have just kept running, and he probably would have had it on the chest.
I think he second-guessed his vertical leap there. I think he wanted to go early, but, yeah, tried to double back, and decision was made too late. But that run-and-gun offense from the Juggernaut's D-line.
It is giving Colony fits.
Yep.
And their defense, Wickremmer is just getting caught with the disc.
Connolly on the sideline. Black's looking deep. Turns and comes under. They really want those. The cutters really want those long options, but the throwers just are not willing to throw to coverage like that. They want some unders. Fan now. Great break throw to Black. I think Black was actually looking for a deep cut, but wasn't coming that time. Blakely left without a dump. Actually, I think they're sending the dump from the front of the stack rather than parallel.
Ewing.
Just
a poor throw choice, going the inside-out backhand, and the wind says, none of that there, son.
I think that was just slightly too far for that throw choice. If it was maybe 5 metres further under, great throw, but should have just wheeled around for the forehand, I think. He's far more reliable with that. Isherwood on the sideline, fakes a big backhand. Throws it straight to Black.
There's a bit of contact there.
Calaviotis was under double coverage there. And
there's a little bit of contact on the cut.
Yeah.
I think Calaviotis is claiming it affected him. Xavier Black has ended up with a disc. So Isherwood will get this back.
It'll be a high stall count too.
Yeah, the stall's got to be getting up.
I'd say haven't sent a hand signal. Oh no, coming in early. Must have been contact call early.
Woodley.
Big flick, looking for Calaviotis.
He's there, big body. Xavier Black plays strong though.
That is great defense by Black. He had 2 players coming in hot, but just picked his moment, went up.
And held his ground.
Yep.
Against big physical pressure from the Greek meat. He leans his souvlaki on Black's shoulder, and Black just bears under the weight. Gets a very good block. It's not easy right now. Colony, they have to score this point, though. They cannot give up another break.
Yep. Wickremmer. Not many under options for him. Sneaks it out to Blakely. Inboard. Black out wide. Black having a hell of a point. Van wants to catch it out in front of Jacobs, but just bounce out of his hand. Calaviotis, a big inside out backhand. And that has sailed through. Is that another goal? Is that gone through?
No, that hasn't gone through.
Nah, missed it. Missed the uprights.
A behind. It's not a behind. We're in football country.
Yes. Not even in Gaelic footy. So another possession for Colony, and neither team looking like they're out of breath. They're both, all 14 players still keen to run.
But it's really only been the Juggernaut that has looked like scoring.
Yep.
Pillage just struggling to get it past halfway at the point.
Yep.
This point.
I'm just watching this Della and Connell match up. Two big lads who've got plenty of...
Oh, that's off hands.
Oh.
That's fine. Play on.
Nice little 1-2 there. Well rehearsed at training, I guess. Blakely, look for the big backhand. Lockhart putting everything into that.
Lockhart runs past it by 10 metres.
Black again.
He's everywhere at the moment.
Worked about 40 metres to get that cut. Oh. And just
catch it, boys. It doesn't matter who catches it. Just someone catch it.
Francis and Ewing, both too polite. No, yours, sir. I insist. And Della picking up the disc this time.
Tom Della.
And Connell on the mark. I'm really enjoying this matchup between the two of them.
Yeah, two big-bodied receivers / throwers.
Yep.
Depending on who you talk to.
We've got Francis on Isherwood downfield. Isherwood busts the big under. And Jacobs is off. Look at this. Oh, no, too far again, I think. Oh! Well, the commentator's curse strikes again, Dan.
Shows you what we know.
Yeah, I know. This is why we're sitting here and we're not out there. I think
those who can't teach, those who can't teach commentate.
Yeah.
And it's 8-3, a huge lead for the Melbourne Juggernaut. They have taken half here in this men's ball play action. And Colony Pillage, they need some secret stuff. They need something. Maybe some Metzol in the jocks might get them going. Either way, we'll see more in the second half here shortly.
House party win!
Sitting unsteady amongst the stampede, while she tries to control my thoughts. Stars hollow like holes in the sky, Santa sleeping a sea of shoebox. I'm just so lonely, baby. I don't know how to do it, babe. I just keep on talking to myself. don't you cry. Don't you ever think you wasted my time. For the rest of my days, I'll keep you in mind. Life's a ladder, and we both gotta climb. Who's little bird on the bed in her cage, scribbling her dreams on a page. Every man back then plucked a feather and went. So fly lower and swallow the pain. Cross Niagara for me while I'm safe on a ship. Plastic coat blocking tears from my head. A better that than to feel or admit that it's real for my heart to.
Well, welcome back. Half-time is over. And the Melbourne Juggernaut are on offense. Colony Pillage, the defense. We will find out very shortly what adjustments have been made by both teams. Whether or not Juggernaut can continue this strong run. Whether or not Pillage can fight back into this match.
Joe Hoppy looking for the big down the line opening move, but puts far too much IO on it. Fortunately, just landed inbound, so they don't have to give up possession right near their goal line.
So they'll come back and Pillage immediately. A chance and a big throw.
So far, we are none from two in this half.
2 throws,
Yep.
0 completions.
Simon Tobbett here with Dan Clinton for Ulti TV and Ultimate Australia. The second half of pool play action, Melbourne Juggernaut versus Colony Pillage out of Sydney. Connor with the D and also the first completed pass to the point and bounces it in to Fan, but it looks like
Hoppy's looks like he's gesturing that he's pushed
I think he's called travel.
for travel.
Or maybe it's an offensive foul. Maybe you're right.
We'll go back to Connell.
5 from goal with Fan on the open side too. Britton Jones on the mark. I reckon he'll jump around, flash one. There we go. Puts the backhand out anyway. Colony, first blow in the second half. Get the break.
A little bit expected. The breeze still quite noticeable, affecting the throws. And 8-4 Pillage. They'll play D and Juggernaut. They'll come back out on offense.
Offense line getting a second run.
Hoppy just got completely lost there.
Yep.
He didn't know anything about it. He said, where'd he go? He's disappeared. I don't know where he went. Meanwhile, he's catching the goal on him. So, big repercussions for this game. Who would you prefer to play?
If I was a team facing a quarter final, I don't think I'd like to be against Juggernaut, just because they're a team. Well, I don't want to be against either team really, but I think the key factor for Juggernaut is the height and athleticism. They've got a very tall team who are all very fit and fast, and if you're giving up anything in height to them, they're just going to take that advantage from you. Trong faking out the mark there. Wiseman with a big high release flick into Wise. Wise looking downfield, wants something big. Britton Jones eventually comes under, and a big high release flick.
No.
Looking for Hoppy.
It's dirty. It's gross. Someone fetch a pressure cleaner. We need to just run out there and scrape that off the pavement. It's disgusting from Britton Jones. A high release flick. Mm.
Yep. If any young players out there watching.
Don't do that.
Yeah, none of that was acceptable.
At no point do we condone what you see here. And well, it's a good throw, though.
Yep.
Britton Jones to the break side.
Throughout the season, you chastise your players for doing that, but at nationals, you're here to win games. You're not here to improve or develop. You're here to win games, and if that's what's going to win you the game, then sure. But
just make sure you complete it, right?
Yeah. You want to be 100% on those throws, lest you cop a serve from your coach for putting away something so simple. But nevertheless, scoring ugly, still scoring Den. Lee Baker out there with his defensive line. Lee Baker, the coach, has coached a few teams in the past. He's coached a lot of these boys back in 2010 at the under 23 World Championships, and was reunited with a fairly sizable group who were part of this club after spending some time coaching with Ellipsis in the women's division.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of the Hoss kind of origin was out of Southern Thunder campaign.
Yeah, out of 2006, the team that went to Boston, a fairly large contingent of them enjoyed their time together and stuck around.
And
Wakely, full stretch, looking for Andrews, sitting up for a long time. It's close to the back.
In?
No, I think he was in between those goals when he landed, so wouldn't think that they were part of the field. But that was a great opening play for Blakely to get open, and that throw was on. That throw was definitely to the advantage of Andrews.
Well, he was the only one that really had a play there.
Yeah, 2 defenders left for dead, but probably a couple of metres too far. So Carlip Liu pick up the disc.
Yeah, it wasn't too far away.
Carlip been with Heads of State for about 5 years now. He was back on the Hoss third team, back with you and I, Dan, a few years ago. Obviously, his career trajectory was on the up, and ours was not. Isherwood right on the doorstep. Across to Della. Della has 2 bites of it. Big crossfield.
Oh,
flick.
okay.
Dylan Taylor all alone. That's another break. And that's to the upwind side. The wind died off for about 90 seconds there, which allowed him to really progress down that way quickly. And
I have some real fears for the Colony Pillage side. They are showing some massive vulnerabilities at the moment.
Yep.
This Juggernaut team is picking them apart.
Yep, and they're feeding off the momentum too. Like when everyone's, all lifts are open at Perisher Blue, and it's downhill skiing all the way. Everyone wants a part of it. When you're ahead by this much, and you haven't got the pressure of the scoreboard on your back, it's so easy just to.
All ski lifts are open.
Yep.
All right,
And
it's on. It's on, Simon.
And I hope they hear me say that too.
All ski lifts are open, and
Yep.
that forehand from Tom Dillis, straight through the middle.
Yep. Taylor just all on his own, just finding space. I think Black was more. He was looking to sort of peel off and pick off something, and Taylor just drifted away from him.
Well, another D point, another O point for Colony. It's a familiar story.
Yep.
And now they're upwind. Much, much harder to do, especially against an energised and energetic Juggernaut defence led by none other than Mark Isherwood.
Roller pull here. Put him on the back foot. A lot of height to that. Wow. And that's going to land. They're going to... you're not racing to it. Happy just to take it where it lies. Right near the goal line. Right near the sideline too. Connell. Wants inboard. Gets it across to Hardy. Hardy winds up. Sends it. That's got
Out.
some distance on it.
definitely out.
Yep. Yeah, just overthrew that. Let go of it too late. I think.
Yuang with the deep cut from the dump. Possibly the most dangerous cut in Ultimate. Exceedingly hard to defend. And he was open.
Yep.
He had yards on Wise.
Yeah, the throw was on, but I think Hardy should have. The wind had died momentarily, and I think he was shooting at this near sideline. I mean, it was liable to drift out. Really should have gone towards that the front cone of that far side, just so let Ewing do the work to run it down. Liu strikes back with another backhand, shooting at centre field. Connell, Isherwood.
Has misread it again. Someone get him a library card.
Now, I think what he did is he ran Connell under that. Connell's had to go early, but then just didn't double back. Just thought it'd drop down in his lap, but Connell had to go there. There was no way he was going to come back out and win a physical contest.
I think Mark Isherwood is going to get like my first alphabet, the book, at the end of season Heads of State presentation dinner.
It's a good idea.
Xavier Black has been a workhorse. One of the few shining bright lights in this Colony Pillage side.
Look, Rammer puts it up. It's 2-on-1, but it's Connell. Goes early. Hardy at the back.
He
right
snaked it.
Oh, and Connell gets it just in front of Maroney. Lets him know too.
Maroney looks a little bit stiff. Great play by Colony Pillage. They find an opening finally. And in they go with the block splitter.
Yeah, that was a interesting choice by Rick Rammer there, just to shoot there. If we look at the replay, fakes the backhand, has the wide open shot, but then sends it up. It was 2-on-1, no doubt about it. But
Hardy snaked the pack.
Yep. There, just in case, and you could see him thinking, you know what, if these boys fly early, I'm in business here. Already, very close to that, but Connell just...
Rory Connell is walking a fine line there.
Give him a bit of what for, but I think he knows that if roles were reversed, it'll be the exact same outcome, I think.
And he was that close to spiking the disc on Maroney.
Yep.
And that would have been an interesting situation to see the reaction.
I think it would have been fine. I think.
Wow. Andrew Maroney is fairly robust.
Yep.
When it comes to his ability to handle everything from heckling to a bit of a bump.
He's as good as he gets. So, excellent pull there.
Well gathered by Britton Jones.
Yep. Trong with the disc, centre field.
Uh-oh.
Puts it high. Hoppy and Stacey. 1 bite, 2 bites.
He's going to call
Can't
foul here.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a nudge in the back as they were going up. And nothing deliberate, mind you. Just did what he had to do to be to make a go of it. But Hoppy will have the disc on the sideline. About 55 from goal. Looking inboard. Sends it up the line to Trong. Inboard to Jacobs. Jacobs dish to Hop. To Wiseman. Smiley Andrews.
The Pillage
Sends
defense.
It big and wide. Who's he looking for?
Who knows?
I don't know what Smiley Andrews saw. But lots of arms being shrugged on the sideline. Going, what was he looking at?
Stacey's going to bring it in for Pillage.
Backhand force here from Juggernaut. Big shot put out, cross field to Hardy, but can't quite run it down. I think that's what you call they've got the early turn. Nope, another foul. That's what you call a 9:30 completion down. At 9:30 this morning, I think Hardy would have run that down, but after a game and a half of tough ultimate, doesn't have as much energy in the legs anymore.
And he still wasn't that far away from it.
No.
I think had he trusted himself and bid for that, he would have gone exceedingly close to have caught it. Trong. It's a little bit caught. And Wiseman. You see the big shoulders and the green gloves and you think, he's having a really good look at the end zone.
Yep. That disc was down just before Hop got his hands to it. Stacey, eyes at the end zone, but looks inboard now. Big around backhand break to Connell. That was perfectly weighted. Look at that. I think there's been a pick call. That throw was money from one sideline to the other.
Yeah, very, very nice from Nathan Stacey. Been continually impressed by Colony and their development of some of the what you would call fringe players.
Yeah.
Nathan Stacey, one of those.
Hammer across the field, and Seb Hardy that time.
Thank you for proving my point, Mr. Stacey.
Right in his lap.
Stacey, never really recognised as a top-tier talent, a top-tier prospect, but Colony, they've given these gentlemen a place to be and a place to play and a place to learn, and right now, it's coming good for them.
I think we're a bit harsh on Stacey there, Dan. I think amongst the club with the depth of talent that Colony's got, he looks like a fringe player. But you stick him with Sublime or I-Beam or anyone, he's a walk-on starter.
He is now. He never used to be. He never used to be.
Yeah, but he's worked hard.
Indeed.
Yep.
And hard work is an underpinning of firstly Stacey's game, but also Xavier Black, another fringe talent. You know, someone who was never really recognised as a top-tier prospect, someone who would be the next Cupcake
didn't have that,
Peter Blakely.
Yeah, didn't have that rocket strap to him early.
But through nothing more than exceedingly difficult and hard work over many, many years, Xavier Black, he's a shining light at the moment.
10-6 now. Tell you what, there's no clock pressure on Colony here. Hoppy with a big floater, looking for Wiseman v Andrews. Nice battle, good choice, but probably about 10 metres too far.
Yeah, the throw was never any good.
And so Colony, with the disc in hand, if they get this, it's 10-7, a shot at downwind.
Game on.
And we're still 40 minutes from time cap.
Game on.
Yeah.
So I really hope they do get it and put a little bit of pressure back on Juggernaut here, because they've had it all their own way this game.
They've been a touch complacent since half, thinking that things are just going to happen for them, like they have in the first half. Gussie McDonald, huge opening cut there.
Oh, Gus McDonald. He has shown Smiley Andrews a clean pair of heels.
Yep.
Lit him on fire and then pissed off in the other direction. And the throw was just, it was not even close.
Throw sent out as a bullet, didn't allow him any leeway. Another high flick from Wiseman. And Hoppy, inside out flick, looking for Smiley Andrews. And huge catch grab from McDonald there. Stacey puts out another bullet.
That was not the option. Wiseman had that covered.
Yep, all over it.
All the way.
Even though it went to ground. But Wiseman's going to bring it back. Wiseman's standing at about 6'7", 6'8". Has just got an enormous reach as a thrower. Oh, throws the dad backhand out wide, looking for Britton Jones. Plenty covered under it. Smiley Andrews reads it off the back.
He snaked him.
Wise. Backhand to Wiseman. Huge flick, looking for Smiley Andrews again. I think that's going to drift wide. So drift deep.
It's not common to see such a tall man be a thrower or a handler. Normally it's the gentlemen of that are vertically challenged.
Yep.
That play that role.
I think Wiseman's inexperienced in the AUDL, which is played in a much larger field with the same number of players. And so you have to be able to throw creatively and powerfully to be considered a key player in that version of the sport. That just translates so well to the more traditional form of the game. Colony have worked it to halfway, nice and easily. Big wide throw to Stacey. Third from goal, puts the flick up, looking for Ewing. Hoppy's gone early. Use that enormous 15-centimetre vertical of his to get up and knock it away.
He was completely off balance. Has managed to gather enough of himself, to elevate maybe 15 centimetres off the ground. Oh, fingertips.
Yep.
But close counts, Simon.
Yep. just got enough on it, and Ewing knew he was beaten too. And timeout called by Trong. Smart call there. I usually rail against players calling timeouts midpoint, but I think from a stop disc, with as many turnovers as there've been, as much impatience as both offenses have shown, I think it's a smart call just to take that 90 seconds just to gather. I don't think there'll be a play called. I don't think there'll be adjustments made. This is just to have a breather. Both sidelines bringing drinks out, getting around them.
With your football songs, Simon, do you rotate it through different clubs, or is there a short list of clubs? Like, is it only Melbourne clubs?
The go-to is the Melbourne song and the Richmond song, just through virtue of the fact. They've gone with Tigerland, they're reigning premiers. Just through virtue of the fact that there's enough of those supporters of those clubs that if you get that first word in, you can get it going. But interstate teams don't get a lot of a run. Well, when I say interstate teams, I mean non-Victorian teams. But
of which there's only 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Or half a dozen.
Well, that and the Tigerland song is quite fun to sing. And Dave Lockhart, a native West Australian, will make every attempt to get the West Coast Eagles song happening, and just no one comes along for that ride.
He's on his own. Is there any concern that, like, the Melbourne Demons haven't been very good recently? Does that play into the song choice?
Eternal optimism for the Demons. Eternal optimism. Meanwhile, the Pillage huddle there, nice and calm. Ewing just talking to his charges, just reassuring them that what they're doing is putting enough pressure on Juggernaut.
The second half has been worlds better for Pillage.
Mm.
The first half, it was all one-way traffic.
Yep.
And they barely put up a fight. It was like when your older brother pins you to the floor and tickles you until you wee your pants.
Yep.
That was the game in a nutshell. Juggernaut being the older brother in this story.
Yep, and then at half-time, Colony Pillage hit puberty, got a growth spurt, and are now fighting back. So Trong to start with the disc. 64 from goal, about 5 steps in from the sideline. What have they set up here? They've set up isolation-ish play.
And Hoppy has somehow made space and got under Yuang and
flattened it out, but throw was too much for Sam Jacobs. I think Sam drifted away with his cut rather than towards the disc, so I think they can share the blame for that one. Stacey, smile on his face when everyone's warning the defense that he's a thrower.
Oh.
And he gives them what they want, puts the hammer out, but
I think he's been talked into that by Mark Isherwood on the sideline.
I think he might have been. I think the little ego boost got to him. Tyres got pumped up a little bit too much in that burst.
A rush of blood to the head.
Yep. Trong to restart. Oh, Britton Jones slips over. Wide throw to Hoppy. Back deep in their own end zone. The no pivot backhand to Smiley Andrews. Big gainer inboard to Britton Jones, but
Stacey did enough there.
Hole in his hands. Ewing with the point. Love a point. Guess where this is going. Sends it up. Too far. Yeah. Too far.
It's an arm wrestle now.
Yeah. I don't know what stats are kept on Ultimate, but I'd love to see the conversions of pointing at the end zone versus goals. I reckon it's high. I love a good point.
I think it's alarmingly low.
Britton Jones out wide to Jacobs. Has a look upfield, but will come in board. Trong causing all kinds of headaches. A big, wide backhand. Drifts a bit wide now. I thought I heard a bit of skin contact, but it must have been well after the throw.
Well, Heads of State with much more real estate to guard this time round. And the Heads of State...
Oh, I've seen this. So Pillage have got this disc on the sideline. They're going to look to isolate a thrower, it looks like Sean Reid, and then he'll go deep. Shot will go down the line.
Well, so far it's been stuffed. The Juggernaut defence
all
working
over
out
it.
of
They've scouted
coffin corner. And a huge block. Nah, that's not
They're having a discussion.
That can't be a foul there. That can't be a foul.
So have a look at the replay there. And Tron coming in.
Nah, with position, there's no way that's a foul.
Yeah, he has caused contact though, Dan. I think that's what the conversation is about. It's just whether the contact was necessary to make that play on the disc.
I think there's a strong argument to be made though for Colony that the throw, afterwards into the end zone.
Throw. I'll tell you what, just withdrawing the foul means that it's their disc down there. And guess what's happened? He's withdrawn it, and the throwaway stands.
I think that's the right thing.
I think it's the right outcome because that was an awful hammer. So Nathan Stacey with the disc. A lot more central now. This
Andrews is isolated on this side.
Andrews, Wiseman, what a battle. Reid, all on his own on the break side. Back inboard to Butler.
Oh, Wiseman's no.
Oh, and McDonald, big backhand into the lap of Andrews to Reid.
He's called not in. Jacobs is, and there's huge contact on the mark.
Another chest.
There is huge contact, and they're going to have to talk this one over.
This is chaos. I think there's been about 4 calls there. Let's work out what happened as they have a chat. The first call I had was that Seb Reid was in, but I think they're not agreeing on that.
Well, they've called him out.
Yeah.
First, we have a look at the McDonald grab over the very long Wiseman, and then the backhand into traffic.
That just fell into the lap of Andrews. And he's gone the dish to Reid, and Reid.
Well, I think the call is he had his feet on the ground when he caught it, and then he jumped in.
And then I think travel, and then, yeah, Jacobs collected on the mark there. So I think they've just worked out that
it's contested.
Yeah, Reid will just have the disc on the line. Looks backwards to Ewing. Gains forward. Little hop. And called the goal. First contact with the ground was inbounds, and whether he falls on his backside after that or not, irrelevant. It's where the first contact is, but
it's not completely done.
Yep.
No, it is done.
It's done.
Okay. I think that is game on, Simon.
Yep. So 10-7 to Juggernaut, and with Colony shooting downwind. Now, this wind has changed direction, Dan.
Yes.
I think it's blowing directly towards us now. It's far more crosswind. So there's not really an advantage to either end at this point.
Some news on an injury. Maroney has changed. He seems to be done for the day, Simon.
Yep. Changed his shirt, which is the universal signal for I am done. I think after that big bid around Connell, I think he's came into the tournament.
Depending on who you talk to, Maroney's been done for many years, but he hasn't got the message.
Not if you talk to him. Not if you talk to him directly. Yeah, I think he just landed a bit heavily. He was nursing a hamstring injury coming in, but my feeling is that he's just not feeling 100%, realises there's 2 days to go, and has just put the cue back in the rack for today. Sun's getting low. We're approaching 75 minutes of this game. In fact, we're beyond 75 minutes. Another 25 to go to time cap. Still lots of time for either team here.
That's a great pull by Connell. That's going to sit in the end zone. Colony, they've found a breath of life in this game.
Big send to Isherwood. 2-on-1.
Yeah, Isherwood is not going to call the foul.
No, I think felt it was incidental contact there. Reid. Left without a short option here. He's going to have to put something wide to Connell. Connell leans back, puts it out, And Della gets enough of it to it. It's still floating, but...
Yeah, on the inside of Branko there.
Yep. I think there's still some key players from each team that haven't really opposed themselves in this game yet. I think Blakely's hasn't offered a lot since probably half an hour ago. I think
he's gone off the boil well and truly. He was getting every second pass.
Yep.
In the early parts of the first half, and we haven't really heard from him since.
I wouldn't say that's him out of form though. I think he just hasn't chosen yet. I think Big Match Pete is still to come. He'll make an appearance soon.
And Wise v Blakely, that's a great match up. And Peter Blakely, just phenomenal quickness, takes 3 steps and manages to D the pass.
Yep, back to Connell.
Catching up to the disc in flight.
Butler right on knocking on the doorstep. And cross contact on the mark, and I think they've made a stoppage. I think Wise was saying, no, you've initiated that, but I think they've agreed that it was uncontested. Yep, in on 0.
This is probably Blakely's point to score.
Yep, and there he is. Gets that one in, 10-8. Dan, we could be here for a while.
I'm okay with that.
I don't know if you had any dinner bookings tonight, but...
well, sadly, my invitations are thin on the ground. There's not too many women, or men for that matter, offering me their number and asking me out to dinner. So I'm okay with that, Simon. I'm cool to sit here and nerd out at some high-level ultimate. We've got a timeout.
Yep.
So we'll take a quick break. We'll grab a drink, and we'll be back with some more.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finney, he's done it.
We're back here after that timeout. 10-8 to Melbourne Juggernaut. Colony Pillage playing out of Sydney. They've ground their way back into this game since half-time. I think it's been about 2-5 since half-time break.
Pillage has found something. I don't know what it was.
I think they've at least...
Whether they were in the paddock over yonder digging something up. Secret weapon.
I think we're going to see to start some real who's got the most heart, I think, in these last 20 minutes. I think both teams, most tournaments this season have been to the 80-minute cap, but with at least 20 minutes to a cap, and I think we'll get to cap at the rate we're going. 18 points played in 80 minutes.
Some points have been exceedingly fast. Some have been a downright mud wrestle.
Yep, Ewing with the pull. Sends it up. That's going to land Oh,
Just
out. So that gives Juggernaut the disc. 44 metres out from goal at centre field. Running to the horror set. Isherwood on the O-line for this one. Uppy to Isherwood. High release to Della coming in for that wing position. Short reset to Isherwood. Isherwood calling for the vertical set. Into Wiseman. Wiseman. Oh, the little dish out to Lachlan Wise. Such tidy offense there.
And that quick backhand throw, quintessentially American.
Yep.
They love moving that disc quickly and getting it out of their hands.
Yep. It's just enough on that, just to sit it out in front of Wise, let him finish it off, and just what Juggernaut needed then. Just that quick goal, short point, get their strong D line back on. Ready to have another taste at Colony. Pillage, not quite stacking their line as such. I think they're putting a few of their key players on there.
And do you have any information as to how Colony have selected this Pillage side?
Obviously, it's players not going to world clubs, whether that be through unable to sort of have the time off or have the money. Ultimate being the amateur sport that it is, and then I'm not sure if they've got many players who were angling for that World Club selection and missed out, but yeah, a couple of youngsters on the team who are having great games today. Young Tommy Butler and Gus McDonald making their presence known in this game, along with David Andrews.
Butler having a very physical battle with Tim Wise.
Yep.
Out there, huge amounts of contact.
Some of these one-on-one battles have been fantastic to watch. Butler v Wise for one. Seen Black v line up on Cliviotis a number of times.
Well, Rickrema gets this in the middle of the field.
Yep. Isherwood on Blakely here, isolated middle of the field.
Surely Blakely just runs away from Isherwood here.
Francis to Rickrema. Isherwood doing his best to neutralise. Oh, big throw goes up, looking for Reed. Reed v Cowan.
And Reed.
Out of bounds.
He set himself and...
I reckon he half thought about the greatest there. He was sort of had that little stutter step.
The same thought crossed my mind.
Yep, I'm going to go up here, but then thought, nah, feet aren't quite where they need to be to make that play.
I think the disc too far out the back.
Yeah.
To get to it in the first part.
Cowan to start, 64 from goal. Vertical set from Juggernaut here. Recess to Leo. Back to Cowan for the 1-2, looking for up the line. Castriano. Low to Isherwood. Isherwood with a big, huge backhand, looking for Leo, who's cut from the handle spot, like you said. Hard to defend. But I think he's thrown through the contact and wore the foul there from Blakely.
So Isherwood will have this back and get another opportunity.
Yep. If I were Blakely, I'd take half a step off just to kill that backhand. And then then he's light enough on his feet to be able to come around and challenge that inside-out forehand if he needs to, rather than just try and be physical, because Isherwood's just always going to throw through that physical. Yeah, just like that. Because he wants that option. He loves it so much.
Oh, Blakely, he's foot blocked Isherwood.
Yep.
And that could be a big turning point in this game. Isherwood gets it back. He says, "Radio, son, listen up. We're not done yet." He gets his own blow in.
And that's one each. And just a little tap between the two of them just to say, former Dingoes teammate saying, yeah, well played, each other.
Oh, I didn't think Isherwood would have the wheels to get up inside Blakely like that.
No, his closing speed on. I think the throw just had that little bit too much drift on it. Allowed him to get in there. Castellano to Frey. Castellano getting that short inside. Puts the flick up out. Sends a laser, but
I don't know what he's thinking.
I think he sort of tried to throw maybe Taylor open, but Taylor was just not ready at all.
Woodley looking gassed at the moment.
Taylor on black, I like this matchup.
There's Blakely with that half circle cut. Fan. He's going to package it up, send it to the end zone, and Jared Cowan.
Just had the inside run behind Francis there. Calm as you like, collects it, walks it to the line. Backhand break, a bit too high. Castellano and Fan comes down with it, looks inboard to Reed. Oh, puts it high, gives Frey a go at it, but Wickramer, big bloody flick, looking for Fan. He
Game
takes
on.
it.
Game on, Simon.
11-9.
Looked like this game might have been over before halftime, but neither of us really believed it.
No.
We were thinking, this can't be right.
We were trying to work out how to make it interesting, but fortunately the teams have gone out and done it for us.
Collusion, perhaps, between Juggernaut. Maybe unwitting and unwilling collusion. The offense from Juggernaut has not looked good. Last couple of points, just long throws, no connection, no cohesiveness.
I think it's just because of the defensive pressure by Colony. I think they've really ramped up their defensive intensity and just taken away those primary options from Juggernaut, forcing them to scramble for second options, and throwers are having to throw throws they're not used to. And I think it does look like Juggernaut are giving it up through drops and poor throws, but I think it's the defensive intensity from Colony that's forcing them into doing that.
Yeah, it's a symptom rather than the actual cause.
Yep. So, D-line from Colony here. Connor with the pull. Needs to land this in. Has to land in.
Well, he's hucked it out the far sideline.
It's landed in, though.
It's
good.
though.
It's put him on the back foot, put him close to the sideline. This is what they need. A bit of Wise. Oh, his brother's off. Opts not to put it. Isherwood. Looking break side. Hits Britton Jones. Inside to Wise. Out to Trong. Oh, Trong to Isherwood. Pops it up over the
Woodley,
hop.
what is that? Whatever it is, it worked. And that's 12-9. Isherwood with a high release backhand for the score over two Colony defenders.
I think the defender came in off Hoppy just to have a sniff at that first backhand to him, but then left stranded. Obviously a high risk, high reward type defense there, Dan. Like if he had got that, would have looked amazing, but because he didn't, he was caught wanting. And that's twice now that Joe Hoppy's caught something two-footed in that corner. At what point do we name that corner after him?
Hoppy corner.
The Hoppy corner.
We'll take it under advisement.
Yep. If he gets a third one, it's a thing. It's happening.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, I'll get on board. I'll get around it.
12-9 to Juggernaut.
9 minutes to play. So this game is going to time cap.
Yep. So what will happen at cap is they'll complete the point that is being played once 100 minutes is up, and then we'll set a new points target. So currently the target is 15. It looks like it's likely to be shortened unless Juggernaut managed to bang in 3 quick ones here. Pull by Lachlan Wise. Great rundown. Pressure on that first pass. Looks, no, not a zone look. McGrammer to Ewing. Ball, it's the forehand down the line, yeah. To looking for Francis, but
It was a good no-pick call by Wiseman in the stack. He got picked, but he was way too far away from Ewing.
Yep.
Way too far away, and he didn't call anything, so props to him. Too many times we see players call picks when they're way too far away.
Yeah, very loose definition of the wording of the rule, closely following.
Yes.
What is close to some players is not close to others. So Lachlan Wise, spent a bit of time playing over in the States with Dave Wiseman. You go play with Madison Club at in the US series. So the two of them already have a bit of familiarity with each other's play. Big, huge monster flick looking for Della. Della with a height advantage. Oh!
He's dropped it.
Did everything right. Bounces out of his hands.
He has dropped
Instantly
it.
puts a mark on. Wickramer was ready. I don't think his offense is ready.
Oh, Declan Frey has got a no-look block and a no-touch block.
Oh, no, it's gone up again. Oh, what is happening?
Della! Della, are you killing me? How can you catch that but not catch the other one? What are you doing, man?
Why does he
that makes no sense, and it's insanity.
Why does he make life difficult for himself? Why does he do it?
It's craziness.
That was chaos. Wickramer just picked it up. Wanted to get going straight away, but his cutters were just not ready. He's 5-1 into Francis. It's come off I don't think it actually came off Frey, but it went just over his shoulder. And I think Francis didn't expect it to come straight to him.
All of Frey's hair.
So Wiseman with that monster flick. It was a 2-on-1, but dealt with a height advantage and just bounces just out of the right mitt. And then Wickramer just looked to get started straight away. And then Della smart, put the mark on straight away, puts it inside, and look at that. Frey just over his head, and just Francis just stunned by it.
He's hit him in the left pec.
I think that...
and then Calabiatis has just put some pie.
Sent it sky high, and Della...
that is incredible by Della.
Screamer.
Admittedly, he's working against two shorter receivers, but he was in no spot to catch that.
I think that... I think the other thing that Francis had working against him then was he would have been looking directly into the sun, because that's getting quite low this time of day on the Gold Coast, and it's right behind the camera too. So anything on that far side, it's just an extra element for the catcher to contend with. So 13-9, and that's taking the pressure off. I reckon that's taking the pressure off them. They're 2 from the points cap. Like we said, with that time cap looming, I think it'll still remain to 15. Look at the D-boys, they are hungry. There'll be a hard charge down on this one. Big bloody pull. Nice easy start, Fan. Blakely, Connell streaming deep, but too many going with him. Can't throw that in the traffic, and then...
Skill errors.
Quick turn there.
When you go too fast, speed kills.
Yep. Jacobs straight through the hands of Ewan Weimer. I think he was a bit too worried about where his feet were to nail the catch, but I think this will be a chance for a great look by Jacobs. Perfectly thrown and then just straight through. The second go at offense for Pillage, and I think they'll just be a bit more steadier this time. With a bit more time to think about it. Inboard to Ewing. Ewing with a huge break to Francis. Continues around. Blakely.
Stacey has huge separation. He is lighting Jared Cowan up.
Every fan getting plenty of it at this point. Here we go, Blakely. Keeps looking up, but not convincing enough. Deep cuts coming. And I think someone was knocked over in the stack, and I'm not sure whether there was actually a call or not.
There's no call there. Peter Blakely is just giving himself a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Oh, was it call, guys? There was a call.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. No call. No call.
Blakely puts it into Ewing. Looks for the dish, he does not get it off. think it was in too short a range there.
And Jacobs with
Ewing
good.
indicating where he wants it. And yeah, Connell just calling the foul there. Not many. If Connell's got body position, there's not really a way of getting a hand in there without fouling him. So.
No, exceedingly broad is Connell.
Yep. Inside backhand. A fan about 10 metres out from the end zone. Puts it out to Blakely and.
Oh, that was Black.
Oh, sorry, not Blakely there. That's Oscar Francis, is it? Cutting deep there?
Oh, Francis, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Leo, going to go pick it up.
Yep.
From memory, Carlos is pretty damn good.
Carlin. Yep.
When we played together.
Yeah, it was very handy back then too. Excellent to stop disc situations. He can just find something to get the disc moving, even if it is a simple swing pass, but easier said than done from that corner. Isherwood, huge huck. He's got 2 runners there. And Castellano!
He loves it, he points! He gives him the point, and there's the dance!
There's the floss.
Give him the floss, son. 14-9.
How did he get that? It landed on his chest. I think
They just lost it.
I think everyone lost it. Have a look at the replay here. I think what happened is they were more concerned about Jacobs, the 2 defenders.
Well, can you blame him? Jacobs is
I think
the bigger threat, I would say, in the air, and Castellano stays down.
Lands in his lap. How do you like that?
Oh, my word.
14-9, and I think the heat has gone out of this game with those 2 points. And
Pillage have deflated somewhat.
Yep. So 14-9. So it'll still remain game to 15, even after we hit time cap. The equation's simple for Colony. Keep scoring to stay alive.
It's a situation lots of teams have been in this tournament.
So what do you think?
Chile came close to pulling it off, and they have been the only ones so far. Every other team, when there's only been one to score, they haven't managed to avoid the obvious fate.
Yep. Wise with the pull, keeps it low and flat, just lands it in bounds.
And the Juggernaut defense.
Deep stack there from Colony. Blakely just patrolling this break side. Wise got the job on him now. Black with the disc. Connell puts it up, looking for Fan. Butler in there as well.
Taylor just front position and gets it going fast.
Wise to Della to Dylan Taylor. Just gives it off to Lachlan Wise like all good receivers do. And
well, that's a strip.
Wise just tries to bring the disc through and whacks it off Blakely's thigh there.
It looked like Blakey was trying to punt that out of bounds. Gets it around.
Watch this Caliviotis Butler matchup in the middle here.
Yeah. Butler has been very, very physical this game.
Yep.
Della with a massive travel again.
I think Butler is just going to get worked over by the veteran here. Leo right on the doorstep.
The opportunity to win the game. Oh, it's a grab by Wise to cap this one off. And they make it 15, Juggernaut. That is a phenomenal match. They have looked so strong all afternoon, and a mini resurgence by Pillage made it close for a little bit. And then Juggernaut remembered that when they have momentum, they cannot be stopped.
Yep, and they maintain their unbeaten record so far this weekend. They will top their pool and face what I believe will be Newcastle I-Beam in the quarters. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks to our sponsors, Australian Unity, for getting behind Australian Ultimate, and thank you to viewers at home for watching. I'm Simon Tolwood, here with Dan Clinton, and we'll see you tomorrow for quarterfinal action.
Oh, Footy.tv.
Daniel, Simon. Daniel.